Hey, what's up guys, it's me Troy and I'm back in with another video. But I want to go ahead and just say thanks to everybody who recently commented, liked, and subscribed. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this crazy, wacky ass journey. You know, I just want to entertain you guys and share my passion for books. You know my passion for books, especially when I be going off on some of these videos. So get ready, alright? Just get ready. Ain't a damn thing changing in 2017 because we're going to keep going hard. But yeah, I want to make this video as a closeout to 2016, sharing my favorite reads of the year. I had a positive message pushed in somewhere between all of that, but I think that I'll kind of save that for another day. But basically, stay positive. So I had a lot of thinking to do as it regards to this video because I wanted to make a full list of my favorite reads or my favorite books of 2016, but I just feel like it's gonna be too long. I want to get this video out before January 1st, and I'll probably have to do some edits here. So I'm gonna keep it very short, and I'm probably just gonna go and go and go. It's not in any particular order. So the first book that I want to talk about that I enjoyed in 2016 is Pique. Still so excited by Ruth Pointer because y'all know I'm so excited. You know I gotta do this, girl, and I just can't hide it. Oh no. Anyway, yes, Ruth Pointer's autobiography with Marcia was one of my top favorite books of the year, and I gotta say that I love this book for a number of different reasons. Now, because I gotta reel this party in, girl. I gotta reel this party in. First of all, Ruth Pointer is one of my favorite vocalists because I live for a woman, a female vocalist who can hit the low notes. I mean, the girl can get down into the basement with the voices. You know, I live for that because y'all know I stands for Brandy's, and I don't stand for a lot of you know, singers, but I stands for Brandy, even though she's been acting real janky in social media lately. And let me just go ahead and get this out the way, Brandy. Nobody's checking for you to be petty in social media. You need to cut that mess out and start getting back to the music. I know you're struggling with your contracts, but you need to get back to the music. Okay, keep going. But anyway, one of my favorite songs by Ruth Pointer that very much demonstrates how much of a voice mega force that she is the song with "Look What You're Doing to Me. I'm actually at your whim and all of my defenses down." Yes, girl! Ooh, I had the queen out for y'all, but I live for that. You know, this is the song Automatic, and she sound like a man. I love that kind of stuff. But yes, I absolutely love Ruth Pointer, and I love the Pointer Sisters. I'm an 80s baby, you know, here from infantry to kindergarten. What our parents and our relatives listened to was 80s music. So, our, you know, 80s babies, our ears are kind of attuned to those synthetic beats of the time. So I grew up listening to the Pointer Sisters, but of course I didn't get to really appreciate them until my adulthood, when I was riding around and, you know, bumping their music while everybody else was listening to whatever was popular at the time. But you know, being a fan of them, and you know, Ruth Pointer being my favorite Pointer sister, I of course didn't know their story. And let me tell you something, this book revealed a lot. Besides the fact that it was an inspirational story, a story of recovery, you know, one of the things that Ruth Pointer struggled with, besides, you know, the music industry and the fact that her sister June Pointer, her younger sister June Pointer, was addicted, you know, to drugs and alcohol and subsequently lost her life in 2006, was that she was struggling with her own drug and alcohol use. And even further than that is her sort of exploitations with various crooked ass men. So it was really eye-opening to get her full story. You know, for so long I've just listened to her music and, you know, had this shade of this blind of, you know, thought that, you know, I just thought she was amazing, and she still is. But, you know, just to hear and read about her full story, it was just like an amazing experience. I really appreciated that because it was, for me, on a very personal level, having family members who do suffer with certain addictions. And libations. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not going to make that kind of video. I just kind of found comfort in her book, you know, as to how she did the best that she could to help, you know, quell her sister's problems. And, you know, speaking of which, you know, because we all know June Pointer was probably the most prolific member of the group as it regards being into trouble, you know, in public or whatnot, is that Ruth Pointer actually gave us exactly, you know, the traumatic and supremely traumatic, I was going to say something else but I held back, event that took place in June's life, which was the catalyst to her drug and alcohol use. And as I said, her, you know, her overdose, or I think back in 2006, probably 10 years ago. And it was a very sad set of circumstances that happened to her, and very eye-opening for me as well. Another thing about it, you know, she talked about her sister Bonnie, and Bonnie was a hot man. What? But Bonnie did not look like, let me find a picture, because Bonnie, she didn't look like any of them to me. I never understood why she never looked like them. But anyway, what she talked about also in the book is, you know, her sister Bonnie, who used to come in and out of the group or whatnot. Yeah, she don't. Bonnie is, hold on, child. Wait a minute. She's right here. So there's Ruth, Anita, Bonnie, and June. And Bonnie is right here. She don't look like none. I don't know why she never looked like them to me. But yeah, what I was saying was Bonnie was a hot ass mess, and I was so frustrating getting through some of, you know, Ruth speaking about how her sister Bonnie was crooked, really, in a lot of different ways. But yeah, Ruth Pointer Still So Excited was probably my favorite read of 2016, because it was like a true story. Not that if it was fictional it wouldn't be as good, but just coming from a fan standpoint, someone who really admired their work and very much appreciated the music. As I said, from a very personal level, I think this book touched me the most. I did want to put, and these are on the list as well, but Incidents of a Life of a Slave Girl by Harriet Jacobs, Jubilee by Margaret Walker. You know, the thing about these two books is that the narrative, one is a slave narrative and one is kind of sort of, I think it's kind of a mix of fiction and fact. But the point that I want to get out is that these two individual protagonists from these books, they are so parallel to one another as far as their sort of fight for freedom. So another book that I want to point out that I enjoyed in 2016, and this one, I'm putting this on this list for a specific reason. Hold on, I gotta get it. Why are my shoes crossed? When did I cross my shoes? But anyway, yeah, another book that I want to put out that I enjoyed in 2016 was Chassie West's Sunrise. Oh, I'm covering the thing. Yeah. I think I named Chassie West. Anyway, yes, Sunrise. A couple years ago, it's probably about almost 2 years ago, I made a series of videos for Read So Lit where I went through a list, an extensive list, girl. You know, somebody got to do it. Now, you know, I was ready to do it. But I went through a list of black female authors who write black female characters in crime fiction as leads. And, you know, a lot of the people on that list I have read. Some I'm still working towards, because there's so many of them that aren't spoken about. But, you know, there's still so many out there that are very much undiscovered. With this book and this author, I never heard of her. I just happened to be at one of my used bookstores, and I just was browsing around, and this right here caught my attention. See those colors? That caught my attention. I'm not going to go into the explanation of that. But yeah, I just picked it up and I was like, what in the hell is going on? Like, hi, I've never read of this author, you know. I did this full list and this author completely evaded me, and that was such a pleasant surprise that I definitely wanted to add this book to one of my favorites of 2016. And I just enjoyed the book anyway, because the main character, her name is Leanne Warren. Now what happens is that she's a cop in a big city, and she goes onto this case with her partner. Her partner, I think it was like a drug bust, and her partner ends up getting shot. So what Leanne does is that, you know, because she is feeling so responsible for it, and she's in this phase of grief, although he's not dead, he's in the hospital, she decides to go back home to her hometown. I think, let me see where was it? North Carolina. She decides to go back to Sunrise, is the name of the town in North Carolina. And what happens there is that she sort of reconnects with, I think it was her adopted mother. I think her parents had died and she was adopted. But she reconnects with her old childhood friends and her adopted parents. But you know, she kind of comes to this realization that the town that she grew up in is not quite the same anymore. There's a lot of racial tension that is going on within the community. And then added to that, there's this developmental project that's coming through. It's ready to mow down a black church. It's ready to upturn a black cemetery and then build a mall within that area. And then from there, I don't have to tell you guys exactly, you know, what further takes place from that point forward. You know, it was just a really interesting read for me, and I just felt like you know, this is my passion. I love these kind of authors who write these kind of books with these kind of protagonists, that I just felt like it was very important for me to add this onto one of my top favorites, because from this point forward, it's only 4 books in the series, but from this point forward, I can't wait to continue reading about Leanne's story. Damn, I need to order them books now. So the next book that I want to talk about that I enjoyed in 2016 was Firestorm from Nevada Barr. This is book number 4 in Nevada Barr's Anna Pigeon Park Ranger Mystery Series. Y'all know I've been talking about her all summer long, okay? You know I've been talking about Anna Pigeon all summer long. You know what? I don't care, because I thoroughly enjoy spending my summer reading this series. You know, there's when sometimes you just, it just is what it is. You know, it's a comforting thing for me. I really did enjoy it. And it came at a time when I really needed to read these books to sort of get myself through each day. I didn't too much care for the second and third book, but when I got to this book, the 4th book, I was at Barnes & Nobles. I said, I'm going to give this series one more go. Girl, I'm so glad I did, child. I'm so glad I did, because Nevada Barr picked up the bar in Firestorm. Now I'm gonna try to make this quick, but if you are familiar with, when it comes to mysteries, if you are familiar with the locked room sort of technique, then you know that it's basically there's a dead body in a room and it's a locked room. You know, the window is locked. Nobody could have opened that from the inside. You know, the main door is locked. Nobody could have opened. You know what I'm saying? So the locked room is self-explanatory. But she took that technique and kind of like I said before, she just threw it into the air and made something incredible out of it, something brilliant and incredible, because she took that technique and she placed it inside of a national park situation. In Firestorm, Anna Pigeon, as a park ranger, she is working as a medical team in Layson National Park in California. There's a firestorm that's taking over the forest fires. It's just doing its thing, girl. It's eating up. It's like, it look like hell outside, but it's eating up the whole terrain, the whole national park, and there's a couple of firefighter units from different areas in the nation who have come to fight. Anna is working as a medical team, as I said, and she's working with a little partner. So anytime someone's injured of any sort, then they come to see her. But what happens in this book is that one of the firefighter unit teams is out fighting one of the fires. You know, it consists of a couple of men and I think 1 or 2 women. They're out fighting the fire, and then one of their teammates, one of their partners, is injured. I believe his leg got hit by a Pulaski or something. So of course Anna and her partner is radioed to come into the, you know, to the fray, basically, to rescue him and pull him out of the danger while the other guys continue to fight the fire. Anna and her partner, they get there, and then they begin the process of strapping him onto like the gurney or whatever and pulling him out of the whole wreckage. Unfortunately, what happens is that a snowstorm is actually coming into the area. Some kind of, it was a snowstorm. It's coming into the area, and it's basically, as weather does, you know, it's brushing up the fire. It's feeding the fire, you know, the wind and that sort of thing is feeding the fire until an actual firestorm starts to erupt and starts to really push forward and enrage and attempt to engulf, you know, the firefighter team. So they have to like literally rush out of this area, rush out of this forest and get away from this firestorm before it eats them alive. Unfortunately for the injured man, of course, they can't carry him out, which made a very touching and sad scene, because he was looking at them like, I know you can't save me, but I really wish you would try. But Anna, you know, they had to let him go. But the fire is coming through, it's rushing. The team, they're all running, they're trying to get out of the way. And then they see that there's no way that they can get anywhere safe. Like the firestorm is just way too powerful. So the leader of the firefighter unit, he yells, you know, deploy, deploy. And basically what that means is that, like, firefighters, they have like these little pouches where when they pull this material out that's made of like aluminum casing of some sort. They call them shake and bakes. So they pull this out when he shouts deploy, and everyone within that unit, including Anna and her partner of the medical team, they cover themselves up with this aluminum casing lying flat on the ground. Meanwhile, the fire is just rushing, you know, firestorm is just rushing over them. And these aluminum casings are like a last resort when it comes to firefighting. And once the fire kind of quells down, you know, that's when the snowstorm starts to push in, because they're actually up in the mountains. And, you know, it makes it difficult, you know, the coverage, it makes it very difficult for a rescue team to come in. So as they're pulling themselves out of these aluminum casings, you know, they give a number, they give a head count, and they notice that one of the aluminum casings is still lying there on the ground. They pull it out, and then, of course, one of the members of their unit is found stabbed in the back. Amazing story. I don't think I can even tell it how it went, but it was amazing story, and that just made me realize how creative and just brilliant Nevada Barr is at storytelling. So that was very much one of my favorite reads of 2016. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. Happy New Year, guys. Remember to love yourself, acknowledge yourself, honor yourself, give love to yourself. You are not being vain if you do so, because if you can love yourself, then you can love just about anybody else. And then you gotta give love from a distance. Y'all know how that advice go, because girls, some supposed to be trying your love, okay, for them. But that's it, guys. Happy New Year. See you guys in 2017, and peace.
Look what you're doing to me. I'm utterly at your whim. All of my defenses down.